Okay.
Good evening. Welcome to another Hidden Gem Sports Scouting one-on-one interview session with one of our clients tonight or this evening. We have Demonte Bell. Demonte is a linebacker from Union College. Demonte, how you doing this evening?
I'm doing pretty good, man.
Good, good. What have you been up to lately? I know we kind of talked offline. I know you got a busy schedule this evening. Why don't you tell everybody what you got going on?
Well, man, recently I've been working out a lot, trying to get my workouts in, but the only way I've been able to do that is because I started coaching. I started coaching at my old high school as inside linebackers coach. And really, that's just really what I've been doing is football, still football. Even when I'm not doing football, I'm still doing football.
So if memory serves me correct, you got just a handful of hours before we go Friday night under the lights. Am I correct?
Right. You are
How
correct. We play Glasgow tonight.
how is that? How has that been for you as far as transitioning from being a player on the field to right now you're in a coaching role as you wait for your next opportunity? What's that experience been like for you turning around and now teaching the game instead of learning the game?
Man, I'm not going to lie to you. I find the experience awesome because there's several days when I think back, if I would have learned something like I did in college, in high school, where would I be at then? Like I get to teach these kids everything that I was taught in college and even in high school, but mainly college, because it made me, the stuff that I learned in college helped me learn so much more and be a better player. Like, honestly, I
Yeah.
get to show them how to really work with their hands, use their eyes, communication. And the kids are real good. They listen real well, they take coaching, so it's been going pretty good for me.
That was something that over the years when I've coached, and I'm teaching positions and things, and I start talking to the players. I'm like, man, if I'd have known that 20 years ago when I was in high school, like,
Yes.
and it's things that they tried to teach, but I just didn't understand at that time. And so
Right.
as I got older and I'm teaching it, I'm like, okay, that made sense. All right, man, I
And
wish I'd have known that way back then.
some of the ways that it was difficult for me to pick up some of the things too, but being a coach now, watching the coaches before how they used to teach me, because like I would look at them and they would show me one thing and I'd be like, man, I don't really understand what you're saying. But then now that I can show them the way that I was taught a whole nother way, I can actually get hands on, show them what they need to do. It, it's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome. These kids, I think they like me. We bond pretty well and they listen real good. So I think we're gonna have an interesting rest of the season.
Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that, and I'm really excited and proud of you for stepping into a role like that because there the coaching field is not what it used to be as far as coaches that actually played the game and have been taught how to coach and have a passion for coaching and teaching. It's a lot of people that live next door to somebody or know somebody and
Yeah.
get a job and they don't really know how to teach the game or to mentor and coach the athletes. And so that's a huge thing, man. I commend you for that, and I hope you do well tonight under the
Oh,
light.
well,
There's nothing like Friday and Saturday night under the lights.
well,
That
even as a coach, I'm still learning. I'm still learning to this day. Like me being underneath my old head coach, well, DC at that time, but now he's the head coach. Me
yeah,
being underneath him now, I'm still learning stuff. He's still teaching formations, everything. I watch him go through certain stuff, and I think it's a certain play that needs to be run, and he'll go and find something completely different, and it work. So I'm still learning, and I like that. As a coach, it's not all just about helping the kids too. You get to educate yourself as well.
yeah.
So I love that.
So what's your favorite scheme as a linebacker now turned linebacker coach? What's your favorite scheme?
Formation wise, I love a 3-4. I love
Three,
3-4.
three,
You gotta
four.
have
Okay.
some mean D linemen up there, and you gotta have those outside linebackers that's not afraid to go and get up there and get nasty with them offensive linemen.
You got to have a nose that demands double teams in a 3-4.
Correct. Because if you don't, they're going to gas you.
Yep, that's correct. I'm a 4-4 person, so 3-4 and a 4-4 they fit right there together. I'm all about dictating and telling the offense what's going to happen, not letting them dictate. So,
not to mention it utilizes the athlete's speed. That's another thing, man. That's another reason why I love it. It lets these athletes run and make plays.
Yes, I grew up a fan of Buddy Ryan, the Bears defensive coordinator from the '85 Super Bowl. I'm a huge fan of the 46 defense, and so I'm all about attacking the 46, the 44, attacking, dictating. That's me to a T. So I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that you're the same mindset there. I figured you were going to go like 4-2-5 or something like that.
No.
Or,
and I'm a Steelers fan. I'm a Steelers fan, man. So watching Mike Tomlin and then run the defenses that they run, you can see why I love the 3-4.
They are the what's the right word? They're the ones that are known for the 3-4. I'm gonna take you way back since you're a Steelers fan. When I was a kid, I grew up watching a certain linebacker. His name is Jack Lambert. They called him Dracula on cleats, and he played for the famed Steel Curtain defense.
Hey, he made a right choice then, or they made a right choice. Either way it goes, he's on the right team. Believe that.
When you have time, go on YouTube, type in Jack Lambert, and watch the film. That guy was nasty. He was mean. He didn't take no crap off nobody.
Of course not. He plays for Steelers. He can't do that. He can't take no crap off nobody.
He was an enforcer. And just very quickly, in the documentary videos that you'll watch, there was an instance where he felt like the QB for the Steelers got hit late after the play. Mm-hmm. And he was on the sideline on the bench, and he got up and ran the length of the field onto the field so that he could exact the score right then and there. Like that's really? The kind of guy he was. Like he was the enforcer.
Man, the Steelers have a lot of enforcers, man. We have throughout the years. Polamalu is one of them.
James Harrison, Troy Polamalu.
Hey, Harrison was a nice one. Cam Hayward. Don't forget Cameron Hayward, sir. Yep. And then our up-and-coming star, TJ Watt, who will be Defensive Player of the Year this year, I guarantee it.
Cam Hayward's dad was Craig Ironhead Hayward, who was a fullback.
Mm-hmm. I've heard about that.
He ran with his head down and ran. He used the crown of his helmet as a weapon. I mean, he literally ran through people, and that's why they called him Ironhead. He never got injured. He never had a concussion, but he always delivered punishment and concussions through the way he played the game. So let me ask you this, Demonte. Tell everybody out there, where are you from? Where did you play your high school ball? Where did that journey take you? How did you end up at Union College? And where are we at now? And what are we looking for with the next step?
First of all, I'm from Bowling Green, Kentucky.
Okay.
And I went to Greenwood High School, man. That's where I'm coaching at right now. Okay. And my first few years there, I honestly didn't play that much. My sophomore year, I didn't play that much. I was on JV, freshman, and then junior year started to pick up a little bit more. And then senior years where I really took off. That's where I really got to play a lot more. But me playing JV and stuff before didn't discourage me. It actually helped me a lot more. It helped me see reads and a whole lot of other things so much more clear. But being from Greenwood, people see us, they don't think we have many athletes. They don't think we have players that can play. We always got those kids as diamonds in the rough, man. I remember my senior year, we went 9-3. Greenwood hadn't seen a record like that in years. It wasn't where we wanted to be, but it was an improvement, the year after they followed up. And I was very happy with that. I still keep up with my school. That's my school. I'm alumni. I'm loyal to the team.
Yeah.
That's my team, And so I played there for a while, built some good relationships. And I told my coach my senior year, I was like, Coach, I want to play college ball. I want to go play ball. Like, this is my dream. I love ball. I want to go play. And, he's like, Demonte, you know what you got to do? You got to get your grades right. You got to get all that done to make sure you can go. And I said, oh, yes, sir. I made sure I got that done. To go play ball. And well, it got me to Union. And when I went for my visit, my DC, he wasn't my DC at the time. He was my linebackers coach. But my DC, whose name's Charles Honeycutt, Coach Honeycutt. That's my guy. He real cool guy, talks real good to you, and he did a great job of when you get there, making you feel like you at home, making you feel like you're a part of the area, part of the team. He really talked about community and how teams bond. And I believe when he said that my freshman year, we bonded to a whole nother level. They weren't running 7-on-7s just for fun out there, before we got there. I believe my freshman class was the team that kicked it off. We was the ones that kicked off that bonding moment that got us all together and made us want to play. And it showed. The 2 years after that, we had better records than Union's ever had. So it made me happy to know that my class and me could make a difference, And I didn't even start. I didn't even start my freshman year. I was a red shirt. I redshirted my freshman year and decided, they decided I was going to be on scout team. I didn't have a problem with that. Scout team was just another way of getting better, putting on weight, get big, work your technique. And it showed. It really did. And I felt good because I had some older guys tell me, thank you. You actually worked us this week and got us better. You're just as big a part of this as we are. You may have not touched the field, but what you did at practice helped. And it made me feel good to hear that. It made me feel real good to hear that. And it honestly made me step my game up even more after I heard that.
Yeah. In the movie Rudy, if you've ever seen the movie Rudy, and if you're a football player, you had to have seen Rudy about a half a dozen times. If you haven't, there's a real problem there. But in the movie Rudy, he's on the scout team. He all he wanted to do was go to Notre Dame. He was going to go to Notre Dame. He was dyslexic. He had a learning disability. Mom and dad was like, some people just aren't meant to go to places like Notre Dame. And but he went there against everything everybody told him, and he found a job. He walked on. He went to Holy Cross first, across the river or whatever. It's like a prep school, Catholic school, like a junior college kind of deal. And he got his grades right. And then he finally got accepted, like right before his senior year. I think it was his junior year, but he got accepted to Notre Dame. And so then he walks on. All he did, he kept harassing the coaches. He kept going to practice. I'm going to walk on. I'm going to be part of the team. I'm going to be part of the team. Long story short, when he finally walked on, he was one of like 8 kids that they kept. They and you know how walk-ons go. Walk-on trials, they literally beat you to death. And they just want to see, are you still standing when they're done with you?
Right.
And he was standing, and they kept him. So he was on scout team. He'd scout team. And all he said he wanted to do was just one game to prove to family and friends that he was part of the roster, that he was really on the team. And the guys, one of the players, the starting offensive lineman, they just kept beating this kid into the ground. 5'6", 5'7" kid, 6'4" lineman beating him in the ground, just pulling and knocking him 12 yards away from the play. And they asked him, they said, why do you keep doing this? Why do you keep coming back? You got like almost broken ribs. You're bleeding. Why do you keep coming out here and taking a beating? And that was the exact same thing he said. As a scout team player, if I don't go hard, I'm not helping you get better for Saturday.
Right.
If I'm just out here running through the motions and letting you beat me up, you're getting nothing from this.
Correct.
So if you watch the movie, if you've never seen it, if you go to that part, he literally gets beat like a redheaded stepchild the whole time. And he's in the training room at night, and he's taping himself up, and he's like, getting extra treatments and like,
Okay. I can tell you a movie close to that. Greater. You seen Greater, right?
Yep.
That movie right there is similar. They're very similar. That's a good movie to go off of too. When you were talking about this, that's actually the movie that kept popping up in my head. Honestly.
When you said that, it took me back to Rudy, because I love that movie. I love true stories and documentaries, and here's this 5'7" kid, and he's looking up at this 6'4" guy, and the guy's like, why do you keep doing this? Like, I'm beating you to death every day. We're
Mm-hmm.
all kicking the crap out of you. Why do you keep coming back out here?
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, if I don't go hard, you don't get better for Saturday, which means we don't win.
Right.
And he earned the respect of all of his teammates to a point where his senior year they got a new coach who came in from the Packers, and the previous head coach had already promised that he would dress for one game his senior year.
Mm-hmm.
The new coach comes in and he was like, I'm not dealing with this, you know. And he earned so much respect from his teammates, they all turned their jerseys in and said they quit. They weren't dressing that game until he agreed to dress Rudy for one game. The whole team, everybody, quarterback and everybody was like, we're not dressing this week.
I like
And
that.
he was forced to give the kid what he had earned, was that one opportunity to be on the field.
I like that. That just gave me cold chills hearing that. I like that. I like that for real. I do.
So he gets in the game, and it's like the last. So it's the last series of the game, and the coach had told him just go victory formation and run the clock out. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
We're done. Well, they said if we run victory formation, the clock runs out. Rudy doesn't get to play. So
Right.
they go out there and audible and run a flea flicker and score a touchdown so they can hurry up and kick off and put Rudy in for the last 15, 20 seconds. He comes out on kickoff team. They tell him to stay in at defensive end. Here's this 5'7" kid in a Division I game against 6-footers and above.
Mm-hmm.
And he makes a sack the very last play of the game. And in the history of Notre Dame football, he's one of the only players to ever be carried off by his teammates.
That's
And
respect.
that's all a true story. So going with what you said about that resonated with me. But something else I want to ask you about, you know, for anybody that's maybe younger players that are watching this or you know see this at some point, talk about grades. You know, you're in high school. You ask your coach about how do I get to play college ball. He gives you the age-old statement: your grades. You got to get your grades right. Every player hears that, and a lot of times players don't take that seriously,
Mm-hmm.
and they end up in junior college, or they don't end up playing college ball at all because they just don't take it seriously.
Right.
For any younger player they're listening, or a parent of a younger player, explain how important grades are in getting to college ball, which then in turn gets you to professional opportunities. We're back. We had some technical difficulties. I apologize. So as we froze up there, we were talking about how important grades are for the high school kids as far as trying to get to college, which in turn college is going to be the stepping stone to the pros.
Mm-hmm.
And you were talking about how important that was. Go ahead and kind of pick up with what you were telling everybody.
Well, like I was telling everybody, I hated school. I honestly did. But I had a dream that I wanted to accomplish. And I wasn't going to let anything stand in my way, especially not a grade, not a letter, So I honestly believe like that for school, you may not like it. You may not want to do it. But if you got a dream that you want to achieve, don't let that stand in your way. Because at the end of the day, if you let that stand in your way, you just letting yourself stand in your way. And that's the problem with a lot of people that don't achieve their dreams. They let themselves stand in the way. You got to get out your own way if you really want to achieve your dreams. So in that case, I would say do your work. I hated doing my work, but when a coach said, hey, I can get you to college, you can get yourself to college. You just got to get your grades. I said, okay, I'll do it. I hated every minute of it because I just didn't like school. But I knew that's something I had to do. Now look at me now. I got a degree. I'm very happy about that, and I did it. I was happy that I did it for myself. But at the end of the day, I was just happy I didn't stand in my own way and keep me from not achieving my dream. And right now, look where I'm at. It looks like I have a shot to do that. So for everybody out there, man, get out your own way if you really want to achieve your dreams.
That's a huge thing because, like I said, a lot of high school kids don't truly understand how important that is. And having coached high school ball a little bit, I found the same thing, and having to have that discussion with athletes that you don't really understand how important this is. It's not just about getting admitted to that university to play ball. If you have high enough grade point average, you can also get scholarships, academic scholarships,
grants, a whole bunch.
to pay for your school. So that's a huge thing, and I appreciate you being willing to talk about that a little bit. When you said that, that kind of resonated with me. And I want to make sure that we kind of touched on that a little bit. So, you're still looking to play professionally, of course, and we're working on getting you an opportunity here. Kind of as hopefully we kind of get on the back end of this whole COVID thing. What's been your off-season program? What have you been up to training-wise? What are you focused on improving or doing differently? Talk a little bit about your whole off-season program.
Honestly, right now, my off-season program is put on weight. I'm trying to just put on weight. I'm trying to eat as much as I possibly can, put on the weight that I need, but make it good weight, So like at the same time, I'm not working out as much in the weight room because I'm trying to put weight on, But when I do go in the weight room, it's like 3 times out of the day, well, 3 times out of the week, not the day. That's too much. I wouldn't put on no weight. 3 times out of the week, I'm trying to go 3 times out of the week, just do different exercises, stuff that, we're used to doing squat, bench. Well, I'm trying to do stuff that works more than just one muscle. So I do a lot of balance workouts and stuff like that. I'll do a lot of core workouts, stuff like that to keep my core and stuff strong. And then my hips. I've just been working on my hips, trying to get my hips right.
Okay. So what does your week look like off season program wise? Are you like a 4-day-a-week guy, a 7-day-a-week guy? Take us through your timeline.
Well, honestly, what I usually go through is I go probably about, it depends on the practices because, coaching and stuff. I usually go into the weight room after our practice. If we don't have anything going on, if the weight room's not taken up that day, then I probably get three workouts in throughout the week. Three workouts in, solid, good workouts that bust me up. I'll be sore the next day, but it's worth it, And then after that, it's not even just hard stuff. After that, it's just core, hips, footwork, stuff that the everyday football player needs. So, it really just varies. It really just depends on what also is going on in that day, because I am a high school coach and I'm using our facility. I have to use, I have to look at everybody else's schedule and find out when I can get in, where I can get in,
Yep. Let me ask you this. Talking about wanting to go pro and play professionally at this point, coming off your college career, what do you feel like is the most important thing that you need to improve on right now? Or you need to, I don't know, maybe add to your off-season program, or you need to, just add to your overall program to become that much better of a player?
Besides me putting on weight, I would say flexibility. If you talk to a lot of athletes, especially, good athletes, big name athletes, or not even a big name athlete, athletes that go play D1, it doesn't even matter. They'll tell you flexibility matters. Even talking to my coaches, they tell you flexibility. You got to be flexible. You have to be, to play this game. You have to be. There's too many turns and stuff, too many ways you can hit somebody and something tweak or whatever. You pull something, you have to be flexible. So I would have to say my flexibility, putting on a little bit more weight, and then just opening up my hips more, getting them to where they really, are more loose for me.
That makes sense. So let's talk about this. Being a professional athlete and even in the college level, well, let me back up. Let me kind of stop right there before I get into that. So you play at Union College. Of course, talk about all the work that you put in, from an academic side to a football side. You earn what you get all conference honors, I believe, in
all Commonwealth.
Yeah, all Commonwealth honors in 2019. What was that like?
It was interesting.
Seeing the hard work pay off and getting selected for an honor like that and having your name put on a list.
It felt amazing. If you want me to be completely honest, I was around a whole bunch of guys So it was a whole bunch of guys from a whole lot of other programs, guys from UK, guys from Western, guys from Louisville, all colleges all over Kentucky and stuff, And I actually got to talk to some Hall of Famers, Champ Bailey, Joe Thomas. I got to talk to guys like that, Corey Peters. I got to talk to guys like that, and I got to ask them questions and learn, not just learn about, football, but learn about the environment that they play in. You're trying to go into a professional area. You got to know the environment you're playing in. What's it like? How loud's the crowd? Are the people interested? What do you do to keep the people interested in you?
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess now let's talk about this. What was your most memorable experience being a college athlete? Was it a piece of advice you were given, something you were taught as a player, a community service project that you were a part of? What was your most memorable experience?
Honestly, being part of the program, being a part of Union's program, you get to learn a lot about yourself. Not only that, but you get to meet a lot of guys, but you get to experience working with kids, because I volunteered for our coaches a Rising Stars camp. A lot of NFL players and stuff actually coached the older NFL players, no longer in the league and stuff like that. But I actually got to coach the kids and make them better. And that's the one thing I love. That's why I took up coaching myself, is because I actually got to teach these kids something. I got to teach them something that I didn't know that probably would have made me better back in high school or in middle school or wherever. It really helped me out, and it helped me see things from a different perspective, seeing how coaches handle us, and then getting put in a coach's shoes and handling younger kids.
Yep.
So it was an interesting experience, but I really enjoyed every bit of it, getting to meet new people, getting to talk to people, them giving me input on my game or anything. It was just a great experience all around. And that's the one thing I'll never take away from college, is that I got to experience so much. I wouldn't take it back for the world. I don't care what college offered me after that. Even if I could go back in time, I probably still wouldn't change my mind. I loved every bit of it, the ups and downs, because it just made me a stronger person, player wise, student wise, just a person in general.
I hear you. I understand completely. So I'm sure you were part of community service projects there with the program. And being a professional athlete, that's a big part of what teams look at as far as character and do you give back to the community? Are you involved in giving back to the community?
Mm-hmm.
Are you currently involved in projects, or are there things that maybe down the road that you want to become involved in as far as any particular community service type?
Honestly, I want to be more involved in the Black community.
Okay.
The Black community suffered a lot here recently, just throughout the years, honestly. And I want to be a bigger part in that. Honestly, I want to learn more. I want to just be there more. I want to find a way to help the Black community out more in any way possible. If that means me graduating and a whole bunch of younger kids seeing that and then deciding, hey, I want to go to school just because he did it, that'll make me feel better. You feel me? I want to be that eye for those kids. I believe in Black excellence. I really do. And that's what I want. I want more of that.
Okay. So kind of parlaying off of that then, I guess, as far as we're saying that, how important is it to you, the type of image that you set for those players that you're coaching right now? Because, as you know, athletes are role models, right? Athletes are role models for the levels underneath them. Whether you're pro, you're a role model to the college, to the high school, to the middle school kids. Talking about wanting to be involved in the African American community, and maybe it's I graduated from college and getting others to want to do what you did and follow your path. How important is it to you, the type of image that you set as a role model for the younger,
I have to hold myself to a high standard. I have to hold myself to a higher standard than everybody else. Everybody else, okay, being in college, everybody else may want to go out and party every night and stuff like that. But as me, I can't do that all the time. Like, yeah, you may get to do that because it's college. You may get to do that every once in a while, but honestly, you can't do it all the time. You have to hold yourself to a higher standard if you really want to make change, because change is a generational type thing. If one person can make a change and he passes it on to that person, and he can make a change and he can make a change, and he can just keep passing it down and passing it down. And that's honestly what I believe in. I believe if somebody sees me and sees the way that I'm working and pushing myself, why can't they look themselves in the mirror and be like, he can do it. Why can't I? Why can't I be a better person? Why can't I go to class? Why can't I work on my craft? Why can't I go out here and mentor these kids to where they can realize, man, look, you don't have to go and work that 9 to 5 every day. You don't have to go in and just not go to school because somebody's telling you can't. You need to have that own mindset, that own strength of mind, to be able to say, hey, I can do this. I can go out here. I can do this. And I don't care what everybody else thinks. You got to learn to be your own person and think for yourself, if you want my honest opinion. And that's one thing I want to teach. I want to teach people, hey, you can think for yourself. I'm just your coach. I can't constantly tell you what to do. At the same time, I can coach you here to help you. But man, think for yourself. If you feel this is the right way to do it, man, let me see. And if it is, or if it isn't, we can tweak it to where it fits you. You get me? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So I just want to be that role model for them. I just want to help them. Give them that peace of mind that they can do anything that they set their mind to.
So, parlaying right off of that, now, let me ask you this. And this is a very important question, especially if trying to go pro and having teams potentially see this. How important is it to you what coaches, front office personnel, teammates, even the fan base, how important is it to you what they think of you as a person, as an athlete, as a role model?
Well, when you're playing for fans and when you're playing for the coaches, the way you look matters. Perception is everything, So your first impression, that's serious. You got to make a good first impression. You don't want people to see you as somebody who doesn't get taken seriously. You don't want them to see you as a person who is lazy. You really want to give them that perception that, hey, I do this. I work hard. When I put my mind to something, I bust my tail at it. And that's what it is. The way the fans and the people think of you, coaches, players, it really matters, because at the end of the day, you build a relationship with them, and y'all feed off of one another. Right. The players is going to feed off each other. Coaches is going to feed off the players. Players feed off the coaches, and the fans is going to feed off of everybody, especially coaches and players. If you holding your head down because a bad play happened, let's see how loud the crowd gets when you make a stop.
Yeah.
After your head's been held down the whole game.
So how important is it about like the front office personnel and the trainers, the doctors? How important is it to you what they think of you as a person and as an athlete? Do you care that maybe you come off as a diva, or you've got an ego problem, or you're, I don't know, shy, whatever? How important is it to you as to what image you portray to them?
You said the key thing, your image. It's not their image. It's your image. At the end of the day, it's how you see yourself. If you see yourself as a person that can make plays, you go make plays. If you see yourself as a kind, loving person, continue to be that. Don't change up who you are because somebody doesn't like what they see. Because at the end, then if you do that, you're fake. I honestly see you as a fake person. You're not being you. You're being somebody else. You're being something that somebody else wants you to be. And that's not me, or that shouldn't be anybody, you know. But at the same time, when I say that, that don't mean treat people bad, you know, but at the same time, like, care about their feelings enough to still be you, but, you know, care about them, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Let them know that you do care about them, because at the end of the day, those are the people that's still helping you. They're still going to be there. They're still the ones giving you your treatment, everything, you know, telling you the diet that you need to eat, what stretches you need to do. You don't need to treat those people bad, because at the end of the day, those are the people that's in your corner. Those are the people that's going to help you.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm saying don't change yourself, though, in the midst of doing that.
Right. Right. You know, sometimes athletes get big heads about themselves and they have egos and they look down upon people and they talk down to people and treat people like trash, and they kind of forget where they came from, and they're
And we're
not.
all here. You know, that's
And
the way I see it.
yeah, you know, they're not humble as athletes. Sometimes they forget about being humble, and it takes situations to arise to where they have to eat a piece of that humble pie
Mm-hmm.
and be brought back down a level, you know. So
Sometimes you got to take yourself down to boost somebody else up. You know, if one of your teammates is down, say you having a great game, but one of your teammates is down, man, let them know, hey, look, man, this is something I may do to help, but hey, bro, look, let them know, even if it's the smallest things, let them know, look, hey, he's moving this way. I'm letting you know now, it's coming here. You need to come here. Like, come here, make this play. Like, I'm letting you know now, it's coming right here. I'm gonna open it up for you. You take it.
yeah,
You know, sometimes it's knocking yourself off a pedestal to raise somebody else up, and that's how you win. I'm gonna be honest with you. That's how you win. You're not going to win with discouraged teammates, but you're the only hothead and the happy guy on the sideline. It's not going to happen. I'm sorry to tell you. I don't care who you are.
I understand completely. So let's talk about this. What's your plans after football? Where do you see yourself once your football career is over? You hang the cleats up. What do you got in mind after that?
I may hang the cleats up. I'm not putting the clipboard down. You understand? On my notebook, I'm still going to coach. I'm still going to do what I love. Football is a passion of mine. I've had it ever since I was little. That's not going to stop. I'm still going to coach, and I'm still going to do things to help other people. You know, whether that's training your kid, maybe that's giving you tips on what you need to do to help your defense or your offense, you know, or a specific player. You know, I'm going to do what I love, and what I love is football. You know, whether that's opening the gym, whether that's continuing to coach. You know, I'm going to do that. I'm going to stay involved around sports. It's not even just football. It's basketball, track, anything else out there, anything that can help the generation below me get to college and get their degree. I'm going to see what I can do to help them. I'm going to do whatever I can do to help them.
You know, it's a big thing when you go to Europe, especially playing over there. They love American players that have coaching experience that can also help coach their younger players. We've got a guy that's in Denmark right now, Demonte Jr., that played at the University of Hawaii, and he's on two separate contracts with the same team. He's got a player contract and a coach's contract. He's the defensive back for the team, but he's also the defensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
So he plays corner, but he also calls the defensive plays. And so part of what he's doing while he's there is they also ask you to coach their younger teams, the U17, the U18, the U15 teams. So you get involved in coaching the youth over there and being an ambassador to the game of football in a foreign country, and getting to spread that knowledge and that experience to the youth over there and grow the game in that country. What would be your thoughts about that if you had that opportunity to go to Europe and play, but then also coach and be involved with the youth programs there and being that ambassador to the game of football and helping grow the game in another country? What would that be like?
I honestly would feel fantastic, because now we're not just working on Black excellence. We're working on excellence all across the board. Excellence from people that's not even in the same country as us, you know, people that still get looked at differently when they come over here. You know, so now we're working on excellence over there. You're mentoring these kids, making them better. Not only that, you get to help them not just with football, but whatever else is going on. Because now they see you as a mentor. So they feel like they can trust you. They can come to you and talk to you, you know, and you can give them your advice, your whole truthful advice, And so I would feel amazing being able to go over there, teach the game of ball, but also change some lives on top of that. Give these kids a shot.
That's a big possibility because, like I said, that's a big thing about going to Europe. They want guys that can also help coach. They want people that can come over and not just play, but also help spread some of that knowledge and that insight about the 3-4, the 4-4,
Mm-hmm.
the 4-2-5. They can teach how to tackle properly, how to backpedal correctly. They want to know those things, so they want people that can come over and play dual roles there. So that's an important thing, especially now with you coaching high school football, you would have that ability to go over there and do that. So
Mm-hmm.
it makes you that much more marketable.
Mm-hmm.
So we've kind of taken up some time here with you. We've been on the two pieces here. We're about at, I don't know, 35, almost 40 minutes now. So kind of wrapping up this interview, I'm gonna give you the floor, a minute and a half, 2 minutes here.
Mm-hmm.
What is it that you want professional coaches, scouts, general managers, and player personnel directors to know about Demonte Bell that they don't already know, or that they won't see on film or maybe on your profile? What is it that you want them to know?
I'm not afraid to ask questions, man. That's the one thing with players, man. They get so bumped up because they get to go places and play at a certain level, and they feel like they don't need to learn anymore. Your mind is always absorbing knowledge. So why would I not go and ask questions? I love to ask questions. I'm a team player. I'm all about my teammates and I'm all about team bonding. I love hanging out with my guys because at the end of the day, your guys is the one that's out there on that field with you. So that's one thing I really want them to know about me. I'm not afraid to not even start coming off the rip. If you need me to come off the bench for a few games to give these teams another look, I'll do it. I'll do what you need me to do so we can win. That's the one thing. That's what makes me an unselfish player. I'm willing to do that for the team. I did it apart my senior year. And I wasn't afraid to do that. That's okay. That was meant for us. It helped us be better. It helped other guys get better. And like I said, I'm loyal to the T, so I'm fine with that. I was fine with that. I wasn't upset. Even if I wasn't a starter, it's okay. I'm still getting my play time. I still go out there to do what you coach me to do. And maybe now that I'm out there and I see a different look, maybe I'm seeing something else that he's not seeing.
Right.
If I'm coming out and they see me that, okay, they're gonna rotate this way now that I'm in. Like I don't mind doing that. I don't mind doing that at all. If that's the outcome you need and you believe that's going to happen for us to win, I'm down for it. If you need me on special teams, I'm down for it. I do what needs to be done to win. I'm a competitor.
Hey, if a coach or a scout or a general manager out there doesn't hear the passion in your voice and the excitement about the game of football with you, there's a real problem there. Uh, I really appreciate you taking time to sit down with us and talk and answer some questions and really let people out there get to know who you are beyond the film and the profile. I think that's a valuable piece uh, to this where people can see who you are, hear you speak intelligently, and think about, are you the kind of guy they want to sign to a contract? So I really appreciate that. I really do. One last question.
Mm-hmm.
Saturday is coming up. We're right around the corner from college football Saturday. What game are you watching?
LSU.
How come?
I'm an LSU fan. What you mean?
Okay.
What you
Okay.
mean?
Okay.
We trying to get to the Natty this year.
Okay.
But also now saying that, I am going to be checking in on my college as well. You know what I'm saying? We are playing. I am going to be checking in on my college as well. I got to see if we're going to win this week. Like I told you, I'm loyal to a T, so I will be checking up on the guys that's still back there,
Okay. All right. All right. Talking about LSU, Derek Stingley Jr., of course, stands out,
Mm-hmm.
just a phenom type athlete. I've had the honor and privilege of connecting with his dad through coaching and through
Mhm.
scouting, and so he and I are friends on Facebook, and I get a chance to talk to him every now and again. So um, getting to see what he's experiencing with his son, and of course what he experienced with his dad playing in the NFL. That's a pretty amazing family story there.
Mhm.
Um, I can't remember his last name. The Polynesian player that was there a year or two ago that started the whole haka. Him and his dad were doing the haka. Um, when they did the team walk, he would stop and see his mom and dad, and his dad and his brothers would ramp up the whole haka deal,
Mhm.
and it made CBS Sports and everything, and ESPN was talking about it, and they do the videos. Brandon Fahoka or something of that. I can't remember his last name. I don't want to butcher it, but yeah, yeah, that was a really cool thing. So you're an SEC fan, is what you're saying. Being an LSU fan, you're watching the SEC.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Okay, all right. Well, I won't. As you can see,
Oh man, hey. Well, we know one thing: y'all won't beat us this year.
well, we got to get through Florida tomorrow first. So
Good luck. That running back's a beast.
we're going down to Gainesville. They've already packed the truck and headed that way. So 7 o'clock prime time on ESPN tomorrow night in front of the whole country.
Well, I just hope y'all don't get done bad. Well, too bad anyway.
Yeah, well, we're still trying to find ourselves again, so we'll see. But
So are we. So are we. So are we.
so listen, last thing. Tell the coaches, scouts, everybody out there, how can they find you on social media? You got Twitter, Facebook,
I
LinkedIn?
have
What
I
you
have a
on?
Twitter. I have a Facebook. My Facebook is Demonte Bell. It's just the way it is. My
Yep.
Instagram is triple spelled out. Triple
Okay.
underscore TRE, and I believe it is 17 is my Instagram. I can look it up real quick. Hey, I'll tell you. But I believe that is right. Let me double check. It's 21 underscore 21. It's not 17. It's 21.
Okay. All right.
Yes,
Now, for anybody out there watching as well, you can find Demonte's profile on our website, hgsports with an S, scouting.com. You can go on the member directory, you'll find D Bell. Click on his name, and that profile will open up. You can see his film. You can read all about him. You'll be able to see this interview as we get that posted on there. So that's there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Um, Also, we'll be posting your player card image with the QR code on it. They'll be able to scan that QR code,
Mhm.
go right to your profile. So we'll make sure that you're out front and center of everybody. So
That's
um,
awesome.
yes, sir, yes, sir. And so, like I said, um, we'll do that. And I don't think I know time wise. I don't think we got time to. Let's see. Maybe we do. Hang on. Let me see if I can pull it up for you right now. There it is. So there we go.
Yes,
So
sir.
so that's Demonte Bell's player card, his official player card image from Hidden Gems. That QR code is live and active. If you scan it, you can go directly to his profile and read about him and see his highlight film. And again, you'll be able to see this interview as we post that up. So Demonte, listen, I appreciate your time. Good luck tonight. All right,
Thank you.
go out there and get that W, and do your thing, coaching, man. Make sure you mentor and you educate those young men and guide them in the right direction.
I will definitely do that. I appreciate that. Thank you. We're gonna try to get that dub today.
All right, man. Listen,
All
have a
right.
good night, and I'll talk with you soon.
Most definitely.
And